Now a word to Africa. I'm your brother, and it makes me sick to see Prime Minister Blair offer Africa $40 billion in debt relief, and we applaud this. The British have robbed Africa, the Caribbean, isles of the Pacific of trillions of dollars. Then they offer you $40 billion and you think that that is progress? Africa, Africa. Pope John Paul II asked Africa and the indigenous people to forgive white Christians for the evil that they practiced on the indigenous people of the world. Pope John Paul II is not incorrect in asking for forgiveness, but first admit the crime. Tell us the extent of the crime. We know, but we want you to confess it. Acknowledge that the church went wrong. Acknowledge that the church did wrong. Just like the church is acknowledging wrong with sexual deviants, pedophiles. Acknowledge that you have done evil to the indigenous people of the world and repent of what you have done. Then forgiveness will come out of the hearts of the indigenous people if the church atones. And by atonement we mean you just can't ask for forgiveness. You gotta do something to earn it. And that is, you must give back to the indigenous what you have taken. Pope John Paul wanted us to forgive Europe for what they did in Africa and other places. We're ready to forgive. If Europe is ready to acknowledge, repent, and atone by giving back to Africa, free her of all debt, and then come back to Africa and build roads from Cape Town to Cairo, build railroads, build roads and bridges and infrastructure, spend your money where you robbed it from us. Then ask us for forgiveness. While I'm on that subject, America has been pitiful. This House, so slow in saying we were wrong to not pass an anti-lynching bill. But it was so weak. That's not enough, America. You made O.J. Simpson pay, even though his lawyers won for him in court. You charged him civilly and found him responsible. We're not gathered here on the Mall today because something is right in America. We're gathered on this mall because we know something is very wrong in America. And we want to correct that wrong, but the present generation must accept responsibility even though you didn't do what your great-grandfathers did. You certainly are the beneficiaries of what they did. We want more than an apology for slavery. We want more than a monument. We want America to acknowledge her wickedness to the indigenous people of this hemisphere, acknowledge the what you did in robbing our fathers of their names, their language, their culture, their religion, their God, and turning them upside down and inside out. Acknowledge that we fought in the Revolutionary War, but we were not revolutionaries fighting for our liberation. Acknowledge that we fought in all your wars for freedom that we yet don't have. My sister Maya Angelou wrote a poem after Katrina, and she closed that poem saying, I am an American. Malcolm said, a cat can have kittens in an oven, but that doesn't make them biscuits. What the great Maya Angelou was saying is, we desire the same equal rights, the same equal protection as all citizens of America deserve. We don't have it. So stop calling yourself what you are yet striving to become. And let's say to America, hey, if we can't get justice, you fight. If we can't get justice, don't take our tax dollar. If you're going to take our tax dollar, then we demand of you the same justice that you give white people. We demand it. We deserve it. Or we shut it down. What are you fighting for? You don't need to be in Iraq and Afghanistan. You need to be cleaning up the neighborhood where we live and stop the bloodletting among ourselves. Then we can stop white police from shooting us down. We demand that America do justice by the children of slaves. We haven't given up our place in Africa. We haven't given up our rights to Africa. Africa is ours, and we should claim it and help rebuild it and make it the great power